What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dissect That Film, where we dissect your favorite films, film franchises, and TV. Today on episode 47 of the Dissect That Film podcast, we are talking about the final film of the 90s Batman saga, as we should put it. The 1997 Joel Schumacher helmed Batman and Robin. Oh, God. Feel dirty saying it. This movie. That's where we'll start. I am Brett Parker, joined by the wonderful Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going, and it's going to get better as we go. We are at the end of this saga of Batman that was, from 89 to Batman and Robin. Are you guys excited to be venturing into the next series next week?
Yes.
Especially after this one.
Yes. Very much so. Very much so.
So Batman and Robin was released on June 20th, 1997. It was directed again by Joel Schumacher. It was written by Akiva Goldsman, who also was the writer for Batman Forever. Now,
surprise. Carry on.
Yeah. So here's the thing about Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin is a bad movie. It is one of probably the worst movies ever to be put on screen. But I can't put the blame on Joel Schumacher for the way that this movie turned out. From all of the things I've read and I've watched about the making of Batman and Robin, Warner Brothers legit just took control of this production. They pretty much took the script that Schumacher had when he wanted more of it. He wanted to go back to the dark, gritty style that Burton had done with 89 and with Returns, but the Warner Brothers wanted to sell more toys. That was literally the reason that this movie is as campy and trashy as it is because Warner Brothers saw dollar bills when it came to the movie or the toys that they were going to make.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous.
To be frank, there seemed to be a little bit of that in the last movie, because even when I was reading it, there were times where Schumacher was saying, well, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to do that Warner Brothers would not let me do in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel awful for him, dude.
Yeah. I mean, there's been, actors who were part of this production that, because of the way that Schumacher was given the direction of where he needed to go, where actors were just like, it didn't feel like I was in a legitimate movie. I feel like this was some sort of joke that I was never going to get the punchline to. John Glover, who plays I called him the evil doctor. He was the doctor, the very cartoonish doctor.
Yes.
He pretty much stated, like, Schumacher, before they would, his action would be, all right, guys, remember, this is a cartoon we're doing here. So that's why you get all these very just out there performances by these actors. And every actor in this movie has gone on to do great things or did great things before they even did Batman and Robin.
Yep.
You can say what you want about Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is a very hot and cold actor throughout his career, but he's been in some good movies before this. I mean, he's the fucking Terminator. He was in Predator. He was in Total Recall. He was Kindergarten Cop, which people can say whatever they want about. Kindergarten Cop's a great movie.
Fucking Commando.
Yeah. You got George Clooney, who was really, this was the movie that really actually got him jobs. Like, this kind of put him on the map because he was best known for ER during the 90s. He wasn't a big name, but he, once this movie came out, and I will defend George Clooney in this movie. His Bruce Wayne is probably one of the best Bruce Waynes of this 90s series. I'll say it right now. I think his Bruce Wayne is really good, but his Batman is just Bruce Wayne dressed up as Batman. There's no change. Yeah. There's no, like, his demeanor doesn't change. He doesn't become a little bit more dark. He's just Bruce Wayne going out on Halloween dressed up as Batman.
I mean, to be honest, though, like, none of these actors looked stupendous, but I think he looked the worst in the Batsuit.
Oh no, I
just didn't think he looked good in the. No, not even like how he acted, just aesthetically. I did not care how he looked in the Batsuit.
Yeah, the suit was interesting. which it's
both of them.
Yeah, it just feels like this is what, 8 years since 89, and they still couldn't figure out how to get that suit to be more comfortable for the actor. Yeah, they added some zippers here and there, but it was still a clunky, just stiffening suit that like you just can't look at and go, oh yeah, this guy could legitimately beat up 20 fucking goons.
Right? It's just close-ups did not do that suit any favor.
No. His Bruce Wayne, though, I felt like his emotion as Bruce Wayne and the way that he puts himself out there as Bruce Wayne was a little bit better than, what I feel Keaton does a good job being both Batman and Bruce Wayne because he's got two different personalities, which is how it should be with Bruce Wayne, and Batman. Val Kilmer was just kind of the same throughout the whole thing. Like he was just very dry as Bruce Wayne, not a lot of emotion. And then when he steps into the suit, he's still that guy.
Yeah.
George Clooney's Bruce Wayne was he seemed to convey more emotion. He was, especially like with the situations with Alfred, he was good. And when you're acting alongside a terrible Chris O'Donnell and Alicia Silverstone, who in this movie is not good at all.
No.
It's, I mean, you're definitely gonna outshine people. Even Uma Thurman and Arnold Schwarzenegger, I feel, are having a fucking blast in this movie. They know that it's gonna be bad. They're just having a good time. I mean, did you guys think that Arnold Schwarzenegger was just going to blast out 27 ice puns throughout a movie? That's how many ice puns there are in this movie.
I read that. No, but I knew there was going to be a lot.
and Uma Thurman, she looked like she was having fun.
I didn't care for her in this movie. Like,
she's not great.
I mean, obviously it wasn't great, but Schwarzenegger wasn't great. But Schwarzenegger was just hamming it up. I just didn't like her at all in this movie, in any way, shape, or form. Did not like her in this movie. I didn't like her portrayal of the character. I didn't like her either side as, what's her name?
Isley,
Dr. Isley.
Yeah.
Something Lillian Isley. I can't think of it. Pamela. Pamela Isley. Yeah. So did not care for just in any facet. I was just like, why the fuck is this happening? But there's a character that's worse than all those.
Fucking Chris O'Donnell.
I think he's worse than Chris O'Donnell based on one point alone is Bane.
Oh yeah, he's fucking awful.
The worst portrayal of Bane I've ever seen in any media.
So
awful.
Bad. It's so
Unga Bunga.
Unbelievable.
I'm surprised he didn't fucking say Unga Bunga.
It's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
It is. Yeah, it's brutal.
It's absolutely terrible.
Okay, hold on. Our shining light of this whole movie was Alfred. Whoever plays Alfred.
Michael Goff.
Goff. Yeah. Sorry. Good as always.
Yeah.
He's doing what he do. Like, great stuff.
He's being Alfred. And yeah.
I mean, he's had plenty practice to perfect it.
Exactly. He's just doing what he does best, and he just has to deal with new people coming in and being, you got to deal with a new actor being Bruce Wayne and Batman, and I mean he's definitely the best part of all these movies in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Except for maybe like 89 and Returns, where the villains were compelling. Keaton as Batman / Bruce Wayne, I like. But when it comes to the Schumacher films, it's like Alfred and then everybody else.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like a separate tiering system.
Yeah.
He's always going to be up here.
Right. We got that really obnoxious reporter again. Remember the one I told you about last week with Forever?
Gossip something?
Yeah.
Bruce, you've been with so-and-so for a long time. When are you guys gonna get married? That's exactly how she sounds.
It's like Gossip Gertie or something like that.
Yes, that's her name. It's Gossip Gertie. Yeah, I believe that's what her name is.
Oh boy.
I was trying to see who.
Nobody worth knowing.
Apparently, because she is like not anywhere near
the fact that fucking Coolio's in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's the leader of the motorcycle race thing that's going on.
What? They didn't even need to be there. Like,
I'm just like Gangster's Paradise is playing in my head.
Yep, every time I see it.
And There was another one. Jesse Ventura's in it.
Wait,
oh, yeah, he's
was
one of the guards, isn't he?
Yeah, he was one of the guards.
I knew he was one of that when they put Mr. Freeze in his cell.
Yeah.
Oh, the ones that had the really like 80-yard voices that just sounded so bad.
Yeah.
Freeze, what are you gonna do there, Freeze? Nobody cares, Freeze. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is happening to this guy? Did he just like smoke 7 packs before he walked into this room?
Fucking clown shoes. This whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh god. This movie was budgeted on an approximate $125 to $160 million.
Where did it go? Where did it fucking go?
Oh, it only made $238.2
Mr. Freeze suit.
$1 million. Oh my god. And the soundtrack to this movie is just the same thing as the movie before. There's no change. There's no change at all. It's the same. They're just like, we don't even need a composer. We'll put your name on it, but you don't need to be here. We're just putting it into the horns.
Copy paste.
So many horns. Just
Pretty
horns
much.
playing everywhere. Jesus, man. And did you guys like the whole thing? You know, of course, in the comics, Victor Fries, that's his actual name. Not his name isn't Freeze. That's just the name he gives himself. His wife in the comics is the same ailment, right? It's like McGregor syndrome or something, or it's some sort of ailment that makes it.
Yes.
Yeah. And did you like the twist that Alfred also has the same disease?
I was like, sure.
Okay.
Why not? Just
when we talk about our opinions of the movie, I can sum the whole damn thing up for you.
All right. Yeah. I mean, guys, go ahead and tell me what you thought of Batman and Robin. Wait, Dan, was this your first time seeing this movie?
Yes.
Oh my God. At least you only had to see it once and then you just never have to see it again.
If we cover it again, I'm just going to find her notes. I'm just going to let you know I'm not watching it again.
I don't think we'll ever cover this movie again.
Someone's like, let's do an anniversary show. Like, fuck no.
I mean, it is the anniversary. Sorry to interrupt, but it is come June. It was actually released in theaters exactly 34 years or 24 years after Jaws. Throw that out there.
Why would you group those two movies together?
Know. But it is going to be the 25th anniversary of this movie. Go ahead, Angela. Sorry.
I will.
That's without your hand. Go ahead.
Talk with my hands.
No, I do too.
I will tell you that my notes stop after you find out Alfred has McGregor syndrome because I fell asleep.
That's fine.
So
I almost fell asleep in this movie too, so that's okay.
I've watched it before. I'm a person that loves puns. I love Mr. Freeze's all his ice puns. I mean, would I watch it again? Not unless I had to.
Just go watch all Mr. Freeze's puns. There has to be video on YouTube.
There's a compilation on YouTube. There's absolutely a compilation on YouTube.
That's the only thing that I would. Yeah, I there's just parts that I'm like, why? Why do we need this?
You keep going because you're voicing your opinion about the movie, so you're already in it.
The whole bike race. Why do we need that? I'm sorry. It just is unnecessary.
So dumb.
It adds nothing. If it were taken out, you wouldn't miss it. You'd never know.
It's almost like the whole Batgirl angle. It's almost like that didn't need to be there.
It didn't need to be there because
absolutely not.
You wouldn't miss it if it was not there.
How old is Alicia Silverstone supposed to be in this movie?
She's in high school.
Right. I want to see how old she was when this movie.
I think she's in college, isn't she?
Is she in college? I know she's like she came from the UK or whatever.
Right.
From school.
She was 21. She was like 20 when this movie was being made. And I think she was supposed to be playing some girl who was in high school. So it was weird. Like, how old's Robin? How old's Dick?
I don't know, like 35.
In real life at the time, yes. But it was
there.
You know, the first time you see her outside of the house as she's trying to do something, and he comes outside, and the first shot is her skirt, and then it goes up, and you're like, really, Dick? You fucking weirdo.
But then Batman's like telling he's like saying stuff about where she went to school, like at Alfred's alma mater, and she's like, how did you know? He's like, it's on the patch on your sweater and it's like right here on her boob.
Oh,
Like, man.
Offensive. I don't think it's supposed to be offensive. It's like, what?
No.
Somebody says their name tag right here, not supposed to look at it? Come on.
You know, you have to stare a little bit.
Yeah, about everything else that's sexually charged later in the movie one.
Alicia Silverstone, she got some shit for this movie. I mean, for one, her performance is not good in this movie at all. There's not one thing I'm like, oh, that wasn't bad.
It's an ER too.
But she, I guess during the production, she gained some weight and they had to do a bunch of, like, there was just a lot of bullshit that she had to deal with.
Because, they cut a bunch of her stuff out, like scenes, then redid her suit or something like that.
And Joel Schumacher came to her defense. She's like, "What you're gonna?" His quote was that, "What is this girl's biggest sin? That she ate some pizza?" And then she just kept getting taunted. And he came out and he said, he defended her on everything, which is awesome. Joel Schumacher has always been a very nice guy, a great guy to work with. It's just unfortunate that he had to deal with Warner Brothers and all their bullshit for these two movies. Because like I said last week, Joel Schumacher has made good movies in his career. Unfortunately, when you sign on to be a director of a huge franchise like Batman, you're gonna get pushback from the studio, and especially when they're more worried about toy sales than they are ticket sales. This is what you get. This is literally the product you get. So
I'm assuming you like the movie then, huh? So
I was just like some of the extras and stuff that are in it, I was kind of surprised to see. Vivica Fox.
Yeah, who is kind of unrecognizable.
He's like, she's in it? I'm like, yeah. You wouldn't know unless you're like me and look it up.
Right.
But it was like an hour and 20 minutes we were in. I'm like, this movie still has 20 more minutes in.
40 minutes.
Or 40 minutes. And I was like,
yeah, this movie did not need to be 2 goddamn hours. Oh my God.
I got to that point and I was like, are we done yet? I was like, I knew we weren't, because I knew what else had to happen. But I was just like, I'm sorry. I can't anymore.
The most absurd, most absurd thing a villain has ever done to Gotham City.
I know, like there's some of the CG stuff, which I know it's early in it, but like when they're all driving down the statue.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's just bad.
Deactivates the bike.
Damn it!
Yeah, I'm like, you pretty much would have killed him at that point.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But go on.
So here, I'm gonna have a take that's slightly different than I think a lot of you people are what you all are expecting. This movie's bad for sure, worse than the last one. But I think this movie's biggest problem is it's fucking boring. Like, it's so fucking boring. Even with all the stuff that's going on, it's boring as shit. And like I've said before, if you can have a bad movie that's at least entertaining, you at least got that. But you have nothing in this movie. Like, unless, again, you like the freeze puns, but whatever.
I like the puns. I can't help it.
Yeah, but I don't knock Schwarzenegger. Like, if that's what he went for, he fucking nailed it. Like, I don't care. Literally, my biggest thing with this whole movie, like on my opinions and everything I say, what I've already said so far and going forth, is I just don't fucking care.
I have one qualm with one of his puns, though.
What?
The dinosaur one.
The Ice Age, because that's not what killed the dinosaurs. Yeah,
it was literally because he was shooting his ice thing at a plaster dinosaur.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's wrong.
That's wrong. No, I know. I said it as it was happening. I was like, that's not how it happened.
That's what we both said. We're like, no.
The biggest problem, like I said, is not the biggest. Well, the biggest problem, I said, it was boring. But I didn't like most characters. I just didn't give a shit. I did not fucking give a shit about anything that happened in this movie. This movie should have focused on one villain, be it Freeze or Poison Ivy. We didn't need both.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, you could have taken one out and did the other, and it would have been fine. Yep. You would have just cut the movie down to an hour and a half, way more tolerable. I didn't care. Like like Mr. Freeze. Here's the thing: is another thing I don't like is they incorporated the elements that made him good, like with his wife trying to save his wife from the disease she has and all that fun stuff.
Right.
But you go from him being hammy, over the top, literally as you said, cartoonish, to us trying to believe this man is being like serious. And no offense, I like Schwarzenegger, but at this time in his career, I've never seen anything that really convinced him to be dramatic in any way, shape, or form. But so like it's just not even him as an actor. I'm just it's not something I see him doing. He's an action movie guy. I know he's done movies like that, but he's an action movie guy. It's not the role for him.
Yeah.
And then Uma Thurman, I just didn't care. Like I just didn't care for her performance. And then Bane was just there to be fucking a horrible version of Bane. Didn't care about the Batman Robin bullshit where they're arguing over because of her pheromones.
Oh
and stuff
my
like
god!
that.
You're just pissing me off the whole time. Shut the fuck up.
I know it's not even like, oh, this is an interesting like dynamic. Like, no, it's just fucking agitating me because they won't shut the fuck up and do what they're supposed to do.
I wish they would have taken.
Yeah, because you would have kissed me first. Like, okay, big dick, just get the hell out of here.
I wish they would have taken Freeze out of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Delved more into Poison Ivy because I love Poison Ivy.
I love her supervillain lair at the beginning of the movie, like deep in the Amazon, like this fucking castle. I was like, is this like the Legion of Doom or some shit?
Take Batgirl out and just more focused on one villain. Don't focus on multiple because I like Freeze. I more so like him in the Arkham games just because
because he's the animated series one. He's awesome.
It's more like what he should be. I did enjoy his makeup and everything because it was
his makeup looked like his skin and stuff.
Makeup and everything looked really good. They did really good on that and his suit, but just focus on one or the other. Don't.
Poison Ivy looked like she fell into the plastic flower section of Hobby Lobby. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I just hated how her stuff changed from scene to scene. Like it wasn't the same coloring from scene to scene.
Right.
Like, oh, she had her leaves on her face and they were green. Well, now they're yellow. What happened?
The
makeup. It's the makeup department failed.
Oh, it's just like I said, it is worse than obviously Batman Forever, but it's not as dramatically worse as I thought it was going to be. But like I said, the biggest part is it's just flat fucking boring. And I just could not care, get into it or anything. That was my biggest criticism. So don't watch it. Just go watch the Freeze pun compilation. Yeah. Just watch that. Yeah. That's all you need to see this movie for.
Yeah. I tell people, I always tell people to watch movies and create their own opinions, but this movie's fucking trash. This movie's trash.
It is fucking trash. It is.
I can't recommend people to watch this. Like, if you're a Batman fan, don't watch this movie. Like, just please don't. Like, it's not. There's nothing. There's really like when I watched this movie last night, and I've seen this movie a lot. I watched this movie a lot as a kid because it was Batman. And I knew even as a kid that it wasn't a good movie.
As a kid, you could find more enjoyment in it because you're not as critical for the most part.
But I always hated Chris O'Donnell. I always hated Robin. I could not stand the character, and of course, Chris O'Donnell didn't make it any better. And I never liked Poison Ivy in this movie. I love Uma Thurman. I think she's a great actress.
She is.
If you want to watch her in something great, watch the Kill Bill movies. She's fucking amazing.
Definitely.
I hated everything about that character. Freeze was fine for what he was, but he's not he's not the Freeze from the comics. He's not. Victor Fries is a super smart, he's a scientist, who unfortunately has a bad accent, which the goddamn way that you see how Freeze becomes Freeze is ridiculous. It's the most, oh my god, I tripped. Oh. Just falls into a thing of water. It's all bad. George Clooney, you could say whatever you want about George Clooney being a bad Batman, and he is. He wasn't good. But to be honest, out of every performer other than Michael Goff, who is in a different category because he's just vastly superior than everybody else, George Clooney is number 2 for me. Like when it comes to every
he has to be
actor in this movie. George Clooney as Bruce Wayne, I'll take it. Pat Hingle coming back as Commissioner Gordon, being the hammiest of all hams. This dude is just riding the storm of just, hey guys, we finally made it to the perfect movie for the hammiest Commissioner Gordon we're ever going to see.
He's getting a paycheck at the end. That's all that matters.
At the beginning of this movie, he really looked like he did not give a shit about being there. And then there's
absolutely.
And then the scene where he encounters Ivy and she's using her control, her pheromones. And he's like, oh yes, I carry the keys right here. Like, what the fuck is happening?
That just feels like a first take job. I'm just gonna. Speaking of that, how many times? It's what I'm asking about this budget. That it had to be the stars they put in this movie. I'm assuming Schwarzenegger ate most of it. Had to be.
Probably. He was probably the highest paid.
One listed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was like Uma Thurman's, if I was reading correctly, her first big Hollywood film. It was same for George Clooney.
Yeah. Well, see, he was in a lot of TV stuff. He wasn't really.
This was like his big break into Hollywood.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad that it all worked out for people in the end or whatever.
Yeah, like I said, he was in ER.
There's a lot of shots. I'm like, why did they leave that?
He was also in other. He was on Roseanne.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He was on the one that I showed you. Oh no, I lost it. I was looking up the guy that played Skinny Bane.
No. Well, but no, it's just like there's shots where they're like fighting, and it almost looks like it's like a fumbled shot, but they leave it in.
Yeah.
Like they could have redone some of these shots, and they're like, nah, just keep it going.
Like, hey guys, should we reshoot this? Nah, it's fine.
Yep.
Looks great.
It's fine. Just keep going.
I just don't know where the budget. I don't understand it. I have no clue where it went. So it just looks awful.
Yeah, really, the only big thing Uma Thurman was in before this movie was Pulp Fiction in '94.
The Facts of Life. If you ever watched that, which I did.
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
I grew up watching that one. So, the guy that played Skinny, I don't want your bug.
Mothman.
Thank you. I don't want your bug. The guy that played Skinny Bane was in quite a lot, actually.
What's the actor's name?
His name is Michael Reed McKay.
He was in Ace Ventura.
Yeah, he was in Ace Ventura.
The guy who played Big Bane, he died 2 months after this movie came out.
Yeah.
Of heart failure.
Poor guy.
We were looking at that. I'm like, oh, he was in some wrestling things. He was in Monster Squad.
Oh boy.
Sleepwalkers. 7.
He was in 7?
Yeah, he was the sloth victim.
Oh.
He was in Ace Ventura. I mean, he wasn't anything big, but the fact that he was in these movies.
I mean, Ace Ventura is pretty fucking good.
But
X2.
He wasn't. Yeah, he was.
X2 was a bigger film.
That was after.
Well, I know. I'm just telling you, like, Insidious Chapter 3.
And Army of the Dead. So, like, he went on to.
He's still getting work.
Some bigger things.
Bane, Skinny Bane. That's where it's at.
And he was only in the movie for, like, 5 seconds, maybe.
Yeah. They threw out the name, which is Bane's real name in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's possibly one of the dumbest origins ever when it comes to this movie.
Humanity.
Yeah.
Almost as dumb as dripping in a vat of cold chemicals.
Yes. Yep. Or Ivy being tossed and having chemicals fall on her, and then she just sinks into the fucking floor. And then emerges just.
You're right, having like a Dr. Wily-esque villain, like I'm mad at you, Death, or like
he literally looked like it.
That, or what's the oh damn it. So what's the villain from Crash Bandicoot?
Oh, fuck.
Neurocortex. Is it
Neurocortex?
Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
So, John Glover, who played the evil scientist, as we talked about before, he was in Gremlins 2.
Mm-hmm.
She was showing me that.
Yeah, he was the guy who owned the building that the whole movie takes place in.
Oh, really?
He was also in an episode of ER.
Fuck.
He was also in Shazam. He played the villain's father in that.
Really?
There's like 3 people in this movie, 3 or 4 people in this movie that were in episodes of ER. The little boy that plays
for a long time.
The boy that plays young Bruce. You know what he starred in?
What? I don't even remember the scene with young Bruce.
Where he's running around. He's running around in the hallway, and Alfred comes out.
Oh, yes, where they have to have Michael Goff's voiceover and a younger looking dude.
Yeah. He was the little boy in Santa Claus.
No
The
way.
main boy.
Yeah.
Who literally was in every Santa Claus movie, which was great.
Yeah. Yep, he was the little boy in Santa Claus.
Do we talk about the Santa Claus movies in December?
Fuck yeah, we do. At least the first one. Oh, my Oscar Mayer weenie whistle.
Yeah, right?
I've actually only seen the first one.
So George Clooney, literally, anytime he is on talk shows, well, most times that he's on talk shows, I should say, people ask him all the time about Batman and Robin. He's like, yeah, I thought when we filmed, after we were done filming this movie, I thought that I had destroyed the franchise, that this was it. Like, I ruined Batman, which I guess is understandable, but I guess he has also been known to refund people for seeing it.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry I disappointed you.
So, yeah, he hates it. Another fun fact is that Robert Pattinson, who plays the newest iteration of Batman, when he auditioned for the Batman, he wore the Clooney suit.
That's what I heard. I had heard that.
Only from the waist up.
Yeah.
Because there's a funny interview with him and Zoe Kravitz, who plays Catwoman in the Batman, where she was talking about how she had to do like an audition, like face to face with Robert Pattinson, but he was dressed up in the Clooney suit from the waist up. It's just,
it works, man. You got to wear a bat suit if you got one sitting around.
Oh, really cool thing I never knew until I just saw it was John Glover, who we just talked about before, who played, I guess his name was Dr. Woodrow. He was the voice of the Riddler in the animated series.
Was he?
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
That's good. Okay, good deal.
Awesome.
Good deal.
And yeah,
he keeps his DC legacy, like you said. He went on to do Shazam.
Oh,
yeah.
So wait,
Thaddeus Savannah was the villain from Shazam.
Yep, Mr. Savannah.
Yeah, he played the father.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, most of the trivia on this movie is just about
dog shit. It's just dog shit.
How certain actors were disappointed and all that fun stuff. Nothing really too enticing that I really need to share to everybody. It's a lot of trivia though on this movie.
Let's get this bitch rolling.
Let's get to the plot. Woo! All right.
What little bit of plot there is.
No shit.
Right. As you know, this movie opens up to the Warner Brothers logo, which then turns into a bat symbol, but then gets encased in ice. Ice to
chew.
I hate this opening.
We get the close-up. You mean the close-up shot of him getting dressed?
I said it's the montage of the bees.
It's literally the exact same scene for Batman
Butts and bulges. It's
and they do the same thing later.
But we gotta get the Robin suit too.
When Batgirl gets dressed, like what? Why? Why do we
have
need
to do
a
the same
third one?
Shots. It's not just gotta cover the people that aren't into bro dick.
Suit me up, Uncle Alfred.
That sounds weird.
Oh, but yeah, it's these shots again. I really hope Schumacher's not the one who decided this was a good idea. But yeah, we get some more bat nipples because we got to get those. We get a nice couple ass shots and all that.
Old shots.
What do you guys think of the Robin suit?
It's whatever. Maybe I'm apathetic, dude. Like I'm just like this. I was pissed at how this movie opened because they did the same shit again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's literally the same movie. Just worse.
Chicks dig the car.
I want my own car. Chicks dig the car.
It's the same fucking line, dude. That line was used in the last movie. Stop it.
It is, and they start with a bad joke, just like they started the last fucking movie.
Don't wait up, Alfred. Stupid. Oh, I'll put the pizzas in the fridge or something like that.
I'll put the freezers or the Jesus Christ. Yeah. I'll put the pizzas back in the freezer.
Right, exactly.
And we notice that Alfred is sick. He's like holding himself up against the wall. He's not looking too good. We get Gordon. We get the next scene is Gordon. He's really pushing hard through this last movie. He's like, get me the fuck through this and get me out of here. I am over this. And it's time to play with Mr. Freeze. We get very punny Mr. Freeze. I'm like, what the fuck is that word? Batman's ceiling.
me and most of my words.
Batman, of course, has to enter through the ceiling and shatter everything because Freeze isn't already causing enough damage. We got to crash through this skylight. Who's paying for that, Batman?
Like we get no build up to him. It's just like, oh, we got a new villain in town. His name's Mr. Freeze. Like,
it's exactly how Two-Face was introduced.
Yeah, it's literally a fucking cartoon.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
In the worst possible way, though.
Robin drives through the door and makes a perfect symbol in the door. What the fuck is that? Come on, man. This is legit a cartoon. Legit. 100%.
I don't think some, like, most cartoons aren't this bad.
The animated series. Bruce
exactly.
Timm's like, what the fuck?
That's what I would say.
I have a love-hate relationship with this whole scene, just because
you get the puns and then all the bullshit around it.
But no, like when they're fighting the goons that are clearly hockey players.
They're all Canadian too.
100%.
But when
not just the Canadian thing, I was to talk about the hockey players.
We can leave the Canadian.
But when Batman and Robin get knocked on their backs and their skates.
Are you serious?
Feet turn to ice skates. They then, in turn to rollerblades. I'm like, when does that happen?
Skate, and then when it cuts to them doing it, it's clearly rollerblades. Like somebody did not give a shit. It
just doesn't make sense because it's their first time encountering Freeze, but yet they have skates installed in their goddamn boots. And how does that work? How thick are their boots? Because those things are coming out the bottoms. Those boots would have to be like that fucking thick. Like, what do you mean?
Boots.
This is ridiculous. This is stupid. And then they're playing hockey with a diamond with a bunch of real hockey players that they just dressed up as goons.
And why would you have your goons
plastic wrap down on the set?
And all the ice is plastic wrap and plastic and shit. Like, why would you have ice-themed goons? Like, I get that's your thing, but why are they all have roller skates or ice skates? How do you know the ground's going to be frozen all the time? Like, what?
This fucking stupid movie. Oh, Freeze, though, is a beast, man. He tosses people like he is a fucking monster. Like, who is this guy? Like, did the thing give him, like, superhero strength? Like, superhuman strength? What the fuck is that? He throws a guard literally 15 feet in the air so he can get his gun. That is
my gun's up there,
propped on the side there, and he doesn't even hit it and just slides down. And did you watch how he caught it too? He almost fumbled it.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, Rashad's like, why don't you reshoot that? And like how when the thing gets knocked up in the air, it's like it just kind of jostles around up there. Like
happens to.
It's like perfectly on it. I know it's on a string, guys, but at least try to make it look more convincing.
Right.
All right. I love Godzilla films from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they do way more convincing jobs than this bullshit.
Yep.
And this has a $120 million budget.
But like when Robin comes through the door, he just kind of like slowly. I'm like, yeah, he wouldn't have made that.
No. And then, of course, when he gets his gun, he does the pun, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. And then shoots this really fake looking dinosaur that's made out of plaster because it's hollow, and it crashes into the ground. Freeze has a rocket. What is going on?
Hey, why doesn't he just drive the fuck out?
What? Oh, you were talking about when Batman jumps in and he rides the dinosaur down. He's like, did we just get a Flintstones reference?
Yeah, I was like, what's up, Fred? You nailed that shit this time? Jesus, you off work for the fucking day?
You know what's a better movie? The live action Flintstones movie with John Goodman, all right?
Hey,
I will not hear of any blasphemy on that movie.
Good.
I have watched that movie in theaters, and I've not seen that movie since I watched it in theaters.
All right,
it was good.
Someday.
Make a note.
It's got John Goodman in it, right? It's got to be good.
And fucking Rick Moranis.
It's probably like the last movie he ever did.
Pretty close. Probably one of the Shrunk the Kids movies.
Ah, shit.
I
shrunk my Oreos. Fuck.
Why does Freeze have a fucking rocket? That's just all I gotta say. Batman and Robin, they go up with it. Robin is holding onto the side of this rocket, and Batman's in there being frozen to the side of the rocket, and he's like, no, Freeze, no.
You'll kill thousands. Well, we could try like probably tens of thousands if he gets to do what he wants to. But
yeah.
Lowball the numbers, Batman.
No, I thought he said tens of thousands. Isn't that what he said? You're going to kill
I
tens of thousands of people. It's like,
I
this
thought
is
he
a big
said
city. This is a
thousands.
lot more people than that.
I'm sure you're right. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Freeze then he sets the rocket and then flies out and then has fucking, he doesn't have a parachute. He's got these fancy metal wings or something.
Why? Why does he have like a jetpack, like powered by ice or fucking penguins or some shit? Like, why? Why the fuck?
That's your
wrong
callback
villain.
to Returns.
Wrong villain.
Why not?
Oh my God.
I mean, they got to get work somewhere else. His penguin's fucking dead. Jesus.
Yeah. So Robin, he gets in there and for some reason has a heat gun.
Why?
Are these guys like, okay. And yeah, he saves Batman. Batman places a bomb. Did you notice that Batman was limping in this scene?
I heard about this.
So he broke his, I think he broke his leg or something, or did something to his leg, and they had to actually cut part of the suit so he could wear a cast. So they had to shoot him, waist up and that's why he was limping. It wasn't because of anything that happened in the
fell
scene.
off the dinosaur.
Yeah.
They reshot the dinosaur scene.
Yeah, it probably fucked his leg about the dinosaur
Probably,
scene.
bro. So, yeah, Batman plants a bomb that is the shape of the fucking bat symbol. And then he blows it, and they surf on the fucking doors of the rocket.
Why? How is it?
I said they Silver Surfered it to the ground.
Yeah, they don't have any parachutes.
Silver Surfer.
They don't have anything to stop them. They are falling from a very high distance and then hit the top of a building, and they're okay.
That's after they intercept Freeze in the midair.
So Batman does that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, not to mention that, like, I understand he's got like his little paper wings or whatever to glide on, but like Freeze has got way more than they do in that suit. He would be falling significantly. Why do they catch up to him?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Carry on.
But it's all dumb. Robin surfs on the top of a building, and he's going, cowabunga! And I was like, fuck!
I know.
Do not. Let me get this. Joel Schumacher, how fucking dare you? I know you're not around to defend yourself, but you do not put a quote, a giant quote that is just so synonymous with a fucking franchise as Ninja Turtles in a fucking terrible Batman movie. Stop it.
I got it. They were trying to make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 the Ice Age and just put Batman in it.
Probably.
That's how it has to be.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was hired to be the villain, but then he was like, no, you're going to be Mr. Freeze from Batman. He's like, okay.
Do I still get paid?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Oh, Lord. This is just... Batman and Robin, they chase Freeze through an old plant, and Robin gets himself turned into a Robinsicle. Yep, that's why I wrote that.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yeah. I wish it stayed that way. I wish Batman was like, well, shit happens, and then moved on.
Get him.
Oh, my
Dude,
God.
Oh my God.
Okay, another thing. This movie, obviously the runtime's like a little over 2 hours, right?
Right.
Why?
Outside of all the bullshit we talked about earlier they could have cut, there are so many shots where they just hang on a character or show like random reaction shots that don't need to happen at all. Like when Mr. Freeze is like, you can save the body or you can help me leave or whatever, or you can follow me, I win. Ha ha ha. And he like freezes the thing. It takes the time to wipe the window off and wave. By. Why?
He's like, this is why you're weak.
Because he helps the
because he keeps looking,
and he won't shut the fuck up, and like there's multiple times this happens when she was more random reaction shots of people or them doing extra stuff that they don't need to do.
I could just see him running off like
that has to be it. Like he looks like he shit his pants.
I can't even recall what Robin was diving at when he gets frozen. Why was he diving?
I think he was going for the gem, the crystal, the diamond.
Right. Okay. Glad you were paying attention. So
that's why Crystal Diamond.
Say I don't know, and I was watching.
You're just jealous.
Oh, he turned me. Yeah, he turned me into a popsicle. Yeah. Fuck you, Batman.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're getting really personal about this, Robin.
Like he overacts most of his stuff. Like when he comes out of the water, he's like, "Did we get it?"
I'm surprised he was like, "You're just jealous, Batman, because he wanted to kiss me." Like, Was this what was going on? I'm confused.
Yeah. So Freeze escapes. Batman thaws out Robin with another heat gun because he has a heat gun, and
I still got drinking there.
Here's another thing. So Robin uses the heat gun to cut the ice. So if Batman shoots it into the water, it doesn't go straight through the water. It just disperses the heat throughout the water, which then thaws Robin out in 10 seconds.
You got 11 minutes to save him, Batman, while we get to the chopper. Ha 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 ha. Thank you.
The goggles.
Get to the chopper. Oh my God. We then go to South America or Central America or one of those Americas.
Somewhere.
The villain jungle hideout.
Yeah. We meet Dr. Isley, Pamela Isley. She takes notes on how to help plants survive like animals. And then we get the generic evil doctor who is creating Bane with venom, which I guess was created by Isley, but he keeps stealing it to do his own thing. And we get the really this dude is like, this guy is a serial killer, killed a bunch of people, and then they bring this dude out. He's like a stick. There's like nothing to this guy.
Like string bean, dude.
Yeah, and he has like this stupid wig. Like I felt like he was Albert Einstein with his wig.
Oh, it was so
and his
so
glasses.
Bad.
Like he has regular glasses, but he's got like the little magnifiers on the side.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my
dude.
God, it's so ridiculous.
Guys, we need 3 movies. We need 3 villains in this movie. What's a villain we can use? Well, there was this one really good run of Batman comics called Nightfall that had Bane in it. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, let's put Bane in it. What's he do? He's a big, strong guy. Okay, fantastic. Well, there's more to it than that. Not just big, strong guy. Like,
that's all we need is
right.
Literally all this guy's good for. Bane breaks. Bane, of course, he becomes, what is it? The Bane of existence. Is that what he says?
Oh, he's the bane of humanity.
The bane of humanity. So he breaks out and yells, Bane!
Freaking existence.
The evil doctor catches Isley snooping, and she's pissed. The doctor is not about it and kills her by shoving her over a table, which then crashes on top of her with a bunch of generic, you got your glass, containers, or what are they called?
Beakers.
Beakers that have generic tags that say poison or toxic
or venom, which is like venom.
Yeah.
It was venom and a skeleton, like the skull and crossbones.
Yeah.
Like nobody tried in this movie.
So it all falls on top of her, and then she just sinks into the floor, and he goes, "That's normal."
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that happen. I was like, cool, she got chemicals put on her, fantastic, and like I apparently don't remember her sinking in the floor.
Yep, she sank.
I know she came out of the floor later. Yeah. I thought that was just being like symbolic.
Oh Lord! So Bruce, Dick, and Alfred, they look over files about Freeze. They find out about his wife, who has McGregor syndrome.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm sorry.
And Alfred's in rough shape, and Dick needs more training.
Dick always needs more training. It never stops. Guys, let me tell you, always train your Dick. He could be a pain in the ass sometimes, but I assure you.
Oh, my God. We also see the video of Freeze falling into the vat of cold water.
He's literally just like, whoa!
A banana peel.
I'm surprised there wasn't a banana. It'd be a frozen. No, it'd be a banana pop because it would like freeze on a popsicle.
Oh my God!
I'm like, are you serious at this point? Like they have an obsession with throwing people in this stuff.
Oh my God! I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this episode. How much I'm laughing at all this bullshit.
I'm just wondering when it's gonna be over. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man! So Poison Ivy
the movie's
is born.
2 hours long, so
they had to show the scene with her dying, quotations, and then it jumps back to the Batcave, and then it immediately jumps back to the lair there, that jungle lair, and this is when Poison Ivy is born. She kills the evil doctor. Of course she's got different hair. She just looks different, and of course she's got a poisonous kiss, and she's got like pheromones that pretty much like control men, make them stupid.
Yeah,
more dumb than men already are.
Yep.
So she kills the evil doctor, and decides it's time to visit Wayne Enterprises because she picks up a beaker and it says Wayne Enterprises. It's like, this is how she is going to Gotham. This is how she gets to Gotham. She just looks at a beaker and it says Wayne. Well, I guess I'm going to Wayne Enterprises. And you're like, what the fuck? What?
That was the catalyst for this villain.
Yeah.
Why would she would have just picked up a different beaker? I'm like, nothing on it, and just walked away. We never saw her.
She goes to Metropolis instead.
I hate when Bane
This is why Superman works alone.
Because he's like trying to show off in front of all these people, and he's like, "Show off for daddy," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, do you like after she kisses the doctor and his face?
His tongue. Like, I don't need to see your fucking tongue.
It looked like he ate a shit ton of Fun Dip because his tongue's green.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Fun Dip's awesome. We should talk about Fun Dip.
And then everybody, because it just gets better and better. The farther you get into this movie, is it then goes to Freeze's lair, and he's forcing his goons to sing the Snow Miser song.
That is the best part of this fucking movie is we got to see the fucking Snow Miser song. I called it. We're like, 20 minutes into the movie? The best part. And then the rest of it's shit.
And then you just see all of his goons are fucking freezing.
I was excited.
Oh, I love that song.
We were excited. You too, because we love that movie. We were excited as shit. I'm like, because I'd never seen the movie. Obviously, I didn't know it was there.
I love how his goons are trying to eat dinner, and they're
all frozen.
It's like stuck to their hands, and they're like,
Yeah.
Like, you're not Canadians? No, we're from Central Texas.
They tried so hard to eat. They were hungry.
So Vivier Fox is there, and she's trying to get
one scene.
She's trying to get into Freeze's pants, but he's like, "Nah, this frozen dick's only for my wife."
And cries in stasis for my wife.
She's like, "Well, maybe I'll try again later."
She's like, waddles off with her hands.
And you never see her again.
Nope, literally never see her again.
No,
her name literally shows up in the opening credits. Because that's where I was
serious?
I was watching. Yeah, when it shows all the names, it said Vivier Fox. I'm like, she's in this movie? I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that scene,
Misbehaving.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the late 90s, folks. Welcome
to Batman and fucking Robin.
It's
so free. That'd be better than this movie.
So we find out that Freeze's suit runs on diamonds, which is a weird fucking thing. It's
Why?
So stupid. It's
diamond lasers that freeze shit.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It sounds fancy. It's not.
I would think it would run on something that would freeze things, not diamonds.
Just jack into some fucking refrigerators. All right, got some more power. We're good. We're free on.
I love when they capture him though. It's in a freaking refrigerator.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Freeze is going to hold Gotham ransom until he gets enough money to save his wife. Cool. I do like that they use the same exterior shot of Wayne Manor as they did in Batman Forever. It's literally just the same exact shot. It's the same period of the year. It's like fall. You got leaves blowing everywhere. It's like, what? Okay. We did save some money there.
Yep.
Barbara shows up, and this is what we needed. Alfred is her uncle. Okay. Her parents died. Because of course her parents died. Everybody's parents died.
Are you sure this is not a Disney movie?
Holy shit. Batman's parents died. Robin's parents died. Of course, you got to be part of the Bat family. Your requirement is your parents have to be dead.
Absolutely. And it's not even Barbara Gordon. It's Barbara, whoever fucking cares.
I know.
Let's see. What's her fucking name? What's her name?
Just Barbara.
It's Barbara Wilson.
Why? You can shoehorn an angle of Gordon in here?
God.
Fuck.
So yeah, she's really interested in Dick's bike.
She's really interested in Dick.
I was waiting for it.
That's all right. I couldn't help it. It was low-hanging fruit.
Curious,
she's not though in any way in this movie.
Just the bike.
Because
she really likes the bike.
If it's her uncle, but her uncle is what, Alfred Pennyworth or whatever? What's his last
name? That's what Alfred's last name is, Pennyworth, or Pennyworth.
But he only talks about having brothers.
Well, no, he has a sister because her mom is a sister. Her mom is his sister.
He calls her Peg.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. So Wilson is the father's name.
I forget that part.
Yeah.
I was like, he only talks about his brothers, but that's right. What a weird nickname for
it is it though? There's many Margarets that are nicknamed Peg or Peggy. That's a nickname for.
Is it?
A common nickname. I know. I worked with a couple people that were named Margaret, but the nickname was Peggy.
I never.
Well,
it's one of those names where it doesn't make sense that's the short
Richard
version
and
of it.
Dick.
Yeah.
That don't make sense. But
I'm just gonna contemplate my existence for a moment.
Just more dick jokes, okay? Just more dick jokes.
Absolutely.
I mean, really, at this point, how many more can you make? All of them.
More.
Absolutely.
All of them. Yes, exactly.
Every single one.
Bruce says that she can stay. We learn about Uncle Wilfred, who was like I don't know what the hell his job title was, but he was like I don't know if he was like a right-hand man to some big leader over in India or something.
Yeah, the Maharaja or whatever.
Yeah.
He has something to do with Liberty Medical.
What?
My name's Wilford Brimley, Liberty Medical.
Okay.
I'm here to teach you about diabetes.
Oh, also, why is the picture of... So, what year does this movie take place in? What year? 19 fucking question mark? But because the picture of Barbara's mom is from like the 30s.
Yeah.
No idea. No idea.
I didn't think they died that old, but apparently they did.
Oh my god.
They live forever.
This is all just so much fun. So Barbara, she takes the bike that she really likes and she leaves. Ivy is going to the observatory and Bruce is being Bruce and Ivy tells him to stop toxifying. That's not even a word. Is it? I don't know. The planet. And he's like, I'm helping the planet. And then he talks about a ball that Batman and Robin will be at. It's like, what the fuck? Bruce Wayne is putting Batman and Robin on an invitation to a ball when this is supposed to be a dude who's supposed to work in the shadows and is supposed to work like, but yet, yep, they're the guests of honor guys.
They're going to be at
Batman
an auction for some really gaudy gem.
Yeah, and they're going to be betting on women. Because that's not fucked up.
That bothered me. I'm like...
That's fucked up. It's super fucked up.
You're supposed to be betting on this gym, not these girls.
It's high-level prostitution, dude.
Literally. It's one of those scenes where when I watched it again, I was like, this is fucking... This is fucked up.
Yeah, I'm like, rich people
And then the girls were getting like annoyed when Ivy shows up and they're like, we'll do $1 million for... Oh my god, let's get to that, all right? Let's just skip to the fucking ball where they're betting on the girls, which is fucked up all in itself. And then Ivy shows up in her thing, and it's like...
In a freaking gorilla suit.
Yeah.
Her and Bane, and I'm like, who the hell is this? Which I got it.
I got Bane's in the other gorilla suit.
And he's like pushing people out of the way.
Oh god,
like,
it's so
people don't see these people falling.
Oh man,
their audience.
I didn't mean to skip that far forward, but I do want to go back and talk about Freeze watching production style tapes of him and his wife. Who was the fucking person holding the camera during these intimate moments of him and his wife?
All of them. I can get the wedding part, but then him putting the necklace on her, like...
Yeah, like, what the hell?
Do you pay people to just record you all the time?
Clearly. Okay, in case my wife gets a critical disease or I fall in a vat of super chilled chemicals, super refrigerated chemicals, I want all of my life recorded.
Yeah.
Every single moment.
Is that one goon? He's like, I got you.
That's right.
But then the goon comes in, it's like, I got something to tell you. And he freezes him. He's like, I hate when people interrupt the movies.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he has something really important to tell you and you're just going to freeze him? And
yeah.
Like, I got to watch this.
He needs one more diamond to
big one
finish whatever he's doing. Batman and Robin, they go hang out at the ball. And again, men are betting on beautiful women. It seems normal, right? Ivy shows up and steals the show with her pheromones. And
her dancing hypnotizes everybody.
And and the betting scene on Ivy is one of the worst fucking scenes ever, because they're betting on her, which is already fucked up. But also, Batman and Robin are in a bidding war, and
against each other.
Robin bids, and Batman goes, "You can't afford it." He's like, "I'll just borrow it from you." And then, if you thought that was bad, it just gets worse, because Batman whips out a fucking credit card. He says, "I never leave the Batcave without it." And I'm like, fuck you. Fuck
That's
everything
a utility
about this
belt,
movie.
not a bank.
It's fucking awful. This is stupid.
Remember, somebody greenlit this.
Warner Brothers. This is Warner Brothers. All Warner Brothers' fault. Yes, Joel Schumacher's the director, and we could throw a little bit of it at him. But no, fuck you, Warner Brothers. This is fucking unacceptable.
Whoever
that this
was
movie
in
was
charge
even.
at the time needs to
It's just
get a sweat
awful.
pick in the pants.
Movie's so bad.
So bad.
And if people enjoy this movie, good for you. Please explain to me what you enjoy about it, because I will hear you out. All right.
Somebody
in our chat actually enjoyed it. We got the whole 90 degrees from them.
That's fine. I have no problem with people liking this movie, but like, I just want to know why. I want to know what they enjoyed about it. Like,
he couldn't
give me
tell
that
us
explanation.
why.
I bet you hadn't seen it in a long ass time. Remember, somebody somewhere, this is their favorite movie.
That's fine. But it's still trash. It's such a bad movie.
Because he's like, how dare you say it's bad? It's like it's
I will
bad.
say it's bad. I will say it's the biggest pile of trash. It's a disgrace when it comes to the Batman franchise.
I was going to say, if he watches this, you will probably get I like this movie.
That's fine.
It's fine. But
That's fine.
I like a bad movie too. It's my favorite movie. I get it. But
I just enjoy it.
I already had to defend myself on literally a thing someone said for no joke when I went back and listened to the podcast for 2 fucking seconds. That was how long the comment was that I got a fucking novel about in the comment section.
I know.
Did you hear it?
I went back and listened to it, and I was like, I don't really know. Like, they even worded it differently than I heard it in the podcast.
Exactly. It didn't even sound bad. Whatever. I'm not going to dive into that.
I'm sure you're going to get another one about the whole bidding on women.
Yeah, put them up, livestock.
Yeah, but we're saying that it's fucked up. We're saying that it's fucked up, right? We said it a fucking shit ton of times.
I'm sure you're still going to get something
I don't care.
about it.
I don't care. This is my show. I don't give a fuck. This is our show. Who gives a fuck? All right. Don't listen to our show if you don't like what we gotta say.
Absolutely.
So she takes the big old diamond that Gordon is like, here, wear this.
And nobody says anything about it.
No.
They're all hypnotized.
Yep.
With her pheromones.
And then Freeze shows up and to take it, and he tells everyone to chill.
He says it multiple times as he shoots people. Chill.
Yeah. So the pheromones don't work on Freeze because he's cold-hearted.
Yeah.
That was actually a pretty cool line when she does it.
Realized that, like, pheromones doesn't work on someone with a cold heart.
Yeah, it's used to heat men's blood up or something like that.
Yeah. Batman, I don't know if I like dozed off a little bit during the scene. I don't know if there was a lot more that happened before Batman captures Freeze, but pretty much he beats up a bunch of goons, and then he does the thing where it looks like he punches Freeze once, and then it cuts and then cuts back, and then he just opens up his cape and Freeze is laying on the ground.
No, that's where they run out of the ball because they escape, because he like drives like through the ball. Like, why didn't you just back out? Angela's like, maybe he doesn't have a reverse. I'm like, piece of vehicle. This is where they drive down the arm of the statue, and he's like, turn off Dick's crotch rocket. And he's like, damn you, Batman! No! He jumps over the thing, and then like Freeze does. It's like, Batman, you can't get to me. And like Batman ejects out of the Batmobile, which is way too fucking small for him and does not cover him up, which is really dumb.
No, there's no roof. Yeah, this is the worst Batmobile.
And he like drop kicks him through the window, and then that's when it cuts and he like raises his. He's like,
right. Mm-hmm.
He's got the X on his eyes and everything.
And like his goons realize that they can't make it when it's too late. They're like,
I like how the heaviest car out of the bunch makes it.
Yeah,
not the small light ones.
Yep. Before we also got the scene where Ivy is pining over Batman and Robin, where she does the pheromone to Batman. She's like, why don't we send Junior home? And she says some lines, and then she turns to Robin. Is like, I guess, what is
something about youth.
Youth has its advantages.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, are we gonna have a threesome here?
Oh no, absolutely.
You know?
No, we're just gonna get Robin whining like a fucking child.
But then,
this entire movie.
I'm like, I'd rather have them have a threesome than listen to him whine.
Yeah, so Robin is super childish about Ivy. He's pretty much like, you're just jealous because she was more into me than to you. I was like, I hate this so much. I hate it all.
You could have cut 30 minutes out of the movie with them fighting each other.
So it's just so bad. Dick catches Barbara, and she knows how to defend herself. She literally beats his ass. Not really. She just kind of, flips him out and pins him to the ground. So yeah, she beats his ass.
What an ill-prepared superhero.
Yeah. And she steals the bike, and Robin, or Dick, sorry. He's not Robin right now. He's Dick.
Dick.
Dicka.
Oh, gosh, I love it.
So Freeze tries to break out of prison, but can't because he doesn't have his suit. He takes the two guards and bashes their heads together. Then he tries to go away, and then he's
they don't even bash their heads together. Do you see them? They bash shoulders together, like their heads turn like this, and I'm like, what is that gonna do?
And they wheel him in like Gotham brand refrigerator.
I love the refrigerator.
And he tries to go away, but he can't because he doesn't have his suit. So he's like, I can't breathe. And then he crawls back to his bed. That's just a light shining down with some sparkles. That's supposed to look like it's, And the guards' voices in the scene are just so funny because they're so 80-yard and bad. Just so, legit. This, Joel Schumacher, you made a live action cartoon.
I bet in the worst possible way.
Yeah. Ivy finds a new hangout, and and Bane beats the shit out of some neon goblins because that's what these fuckers were.
Well, dude, to be honest, I actually kind of like their aesthetic of their design with the neon, the black light paint or whatever, because it was something fucking different. I was like, oh, these guys will do this is a cool aesthetic. They should use this for something, and it didn't amount to anything.
Yep.
I was like, they're gonna be strong because they're different.
No, let's get their asses whooped.
Yeah, pretty much. And she plants some seeds. Bruce can't stop thinking of Ivy, and neither can Dick. And Dick catches Barbara leaving again, and he follows. Barbara is a street bike racer, and it's led by the one and only Coolio. Yeah. Been spending most their lives living in.
Victor was watching it with us. He's like, sing Gangsta's Paradise.
That's the only song I know by Coolio, by the way.
Same. I don't know.
Dick joins the race, and of course, there's a guy named Spike. What a
Why
name.
not?
He's got spikes on his helmet.
Dozing off.
Oh,
yeah. So Spike gets ahead of him, and he drops there's a fireball, like a firewall that comes in that causes both of them to crash and slide a lot until they almost fall off this bridge. And then they go back to the manor like nothing happened and have a just normal conversation.
None of it needed to be there. None of it.
So Nick, that entire street bike scene did not need to happen. None of it.
It lasted forever.
It
felt
so
like
so long.
Make the movie longer. Why? We just need it to be longer.
So Dick you don't.
No. Dick and Barbara talk about her love of racing and that she was kicked out of her school. She plans on taking Alfred away because he's sick. And no, he's dying. He's not just sick. He's dying. Ivy breaks Freeze out of Arkham. We get the nice isolating music box that he was carving, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool. He loves his wife.
Mm-hmm. Bane gets the suit as he literally just shoulders guards the entire way down this hallway to bring it back to Freeze.
I know it's like a cart, like a laundry cart, but I was like, this is a fucking shopping cart.
He talks about laundry service.
Laundry service that delivers?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Okay.
Oh, man. We get more puns about winterizing your pipes. You always got to make sure to winterize your pipes. As he freezes
Pretty sure that wouldn't break through the...
And the wall fucking explodes. It blows the fuck up. It gets cold and just boom.
she tries to get Bane to run through, and she's like, reinforced steel. I'm like, pretty sure you can't blow it up like that.
Yep.
Not with ice.
Yep. They jump very far up into the river, and they need to go get the diamonds and Frieza's wife. Woo.
Do you notice, though, when Bane breaks through first, and he breaks through the, with the guard, did you notice the Riddler jacket and the bowler hat?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, she pointed out. I was like, oh, there's Riddler jacket and
It's
bowler.
like his jacket. So he must be
I missed it
too.
too.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is Arkham.
I was like, that's kind of cool.
I mean,
because
he's
it's
there.
it's in like their I can't think of the word.
Like storage or something.
Yeah, kind of. But I'm like, why is there a guard sitting in the backside of this room?
It's just like that scene from Bride of Chucky where they go. It's like the police station where they gotta get Chucky, and then in one of the cabinets is literally Michael Myers' mask, Jason's mask, Freddy's glove.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, of course.
Because they're all in the same area.
They're all live in the same town, you know.
Yeah.
Bruce tries to help Alfred, and while he's doing that, he gets Dick running. Like, Frieza's escaped. Oh no! All right, bye, dying Alfred. I gotta go.
Yep. Don't be dead. You don't die while we're gone. You need to stay alive.
So Gordon tells Batman and Robin who sprung Freeze out, and that's when we get the fucking lines from both these idiots that go. I can't remember what one of them says. Nice buds, and then the other one says something else. Too. And I was like, what the fuck kind of.
Some nice
you could not think of anything worse to put in this movie, and you just keep on fucking digging the fucking hole.
I don't like when Ivy first walks in and she's like, I propose a pairing, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Like,
it's all so bad.
Is he two?
It's all so bad. Batman and Robin, they follow Ivy's pheromones. Freezes everyone out. Batman and Robin fight Bane, which is fun. Ivy tries her best to kill them, but they get but they fight it. Oh yeah, that's right. So Ivy
more pheromones.
Yeah, they tries her best to kill them, but that's when I think Robin's got the fake lips, right?
No,
was that later? That was later. Okay.
Yeah, because they're arguing and Batman throws Robin into the ice cream. He's like, cool off, Dick.
He throws it into the vat of acid and turn the Joker into the Joker.
Which they have branded. They made it into ice cream now. So it's Axis brand ice cream.
Yeah. So
like
yummy.
He has this obsession with throwing people into things.
Yeah.
Or like when they drop or when they jump. And Freeze is like, I hope your body can swim.
Sounds like Animal from Muppets.
And like the
it's like an in-place shimmy as he's falling. It's like truffle shuffle as he goes down. Like
And the cops are trying to shoot at him. I'm like, I don't think your handguns are gonna make it that far. But you can keep trying.
They might could, but they ain't gonna hit him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like there was nobody down there when they were looking. Like they were gone.
Get him!
Lord.
Would you stop shooting? You ain't gonna hit shit.
Yeah.
So Gordon shuts off the freeze pipes. Ivy tries turning Robin against Batman, but Batman tosses Robin in some Nickelodeon slime. That's what my notes say. And then Ivy escapes, and Gordon is pissed. He's like, "How did she escape?" And that's when Robin's like, "Yeah." And then Robin's like, "You're just jealous, you fucking idiot."
I'm working alone.
That she wants me and not you. I'm going solo. And I was like,
that's it.
Can you just go solo out of this movie and never return?
Yeah, Gordon actually does something instead of running away.
Yep. Ivy shuts off Freeze's. She unplugs Freeze's wife, which slowly kills her. She goes back to her lair where Freeze is right at home. He's got his whole lab set up and everything. Ivy lies and tells Freeze that Batman killed his wife. And Freeze is seeking revenge.
It was nothing I could do.
And Ivy has created an animal-plant hybrid. And that's
she was talking about that earlier in the movie. I was like, why does that fucking matter?
Yeah. And that's where we get the line, Adam and evil. So stupid. We find out that...
She's like, She's like, we're gonna be the only two left. I'm like, you just gonna kill off your buddy who's helped you this whole time? You're just gonna kill
the chauffeur, man. You can't kill him.
Right.
Chauffeur.
Alfred has McGregor syndrome, which is the same condition as Nora Fry's. Dick is a baby back bitch. It's literally what I put in my notes. He is a baby back bitch. These two men are fighting over someone they've known for literally 30 seconds, which I understand the pheromones are causing them to act out and act stupid, but it's all stupid. This is all just dumb.
It's ridiculous.
And so
if it was done well, it'd be different, but it's done so badly.
Yeah. Alfred needs Barbara to deliver something to Uncle Wilfred, which this whole Uncle Wilfred thing was kind of pointless. Literally pointless. It did not need to be in it. It didn't go anywhere. It was just kind of
what's
there.
What's he gonna do?
Exactly. We get another ball, and Ivy continues to be. She's dressed as Dr. Isley.
Yeah.
She runs into Gordon, and she uses her pheromones on him and asks where the bat signal is. And then Bane destroys it. Barbara tries. Oh, sorry.
Doesn't she like turn into like a Robin signal?
She does, but Bane destroys the bat symbol, and then they make the Robin symbol. Barbara tries breaking into Alfred's into the disc that he was tasked to give to Uncle Wilfred, which I guess this is where it goes. The whole Uncle Wilfred thing, because she ends up just taking it and breaking into it. What was the password?
Peg.
That's not an acceptably long password.
Sorry,
you need to have a lowercase and uppercase numbers and then a symbol.
Special character.
Special character, and it needs to be 8 characters long.
8 characters long.
Yeah.
You know.
We're gonna date us when people watch this in 20 years, where it's 15 characters are required.
Yeah. Margaret isn't even long enough.
2-factor authentication.
Yep.
Yes. Bruce and Alfred have a very heartfelt discussion. I think this is the best when it comes to acting in this movie. This is probably the best.
Probably, yeah.
You know, of course, like I said before, George Clooney's Bruce is pretty good. He's a good actor, and of course, Michael Goff is a good actor himself. So them two like having this conversation was pretty good. It kind of is like, oh, I kind of care a little bit about what's going on, but then it immediately goes back into fucking Psychoville, and we're like, what the fuck are we doing here? But yeah, so Barbara gets in with the shortest possible password, and it's a Batman and Robin file. It's just pretty much he's preparing to die, so he's gonna have Uncle Wilfred get this to then come and become what Alfred is. I think that was the whole premise of that.
I believe so.
So change your name too.
Yeah. Freeze plans on breaking into the observatory to steal some diamonds. And yeah, the bat signal changes into a robin, and this is where it's like, it's a robin in the sky, not a bat. And you're like, fuck you, Robin.
She changed it because she loves me.
Oh my god. Here's the thing: is these pheromones are only supposed to be short lasting.
Yep.
And Robin is continuously under the spell. He's just
pretty much
child. He just sucks.
They mentioned it somewhere halfway between, like after the first one, before the second one, where they mentioned it's kind of fading a little bit. But yeah, he's always been an asshole about it.
Yeah, and so Bruce is trying to explain to him. He's like, listen, she's playing us. She's manipulating us into being this way. Don't be an idiot, and let's work together and stop her. And then Robin's like, fine.
Yes.
Freeze gets all the diamonds, and one of the puns is like hell freezing over, or hell freezes over. Something like that.
because he goes to the observatory.
You get the scientists that are there observing and all that being very hype, like overdoing it, like the guard from the beginning of Batman Forever. Oh my god!
Oh my!
What the heck is going on?
Because we needed more scenes like that.
So Barbara finds the Batcave, and we get a very up close and personal suit up scene because we needed this from a supposed high school girl in this movie.
Why not?
Nope.
That must have been their thought process.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Robin goes to Ivy's lair. He tricks her with rubber lips. She kisses him, and he pulls him off, and she's like, oh, no.
Well, see, the thing I don't understand is why did he sit there the whole time?
Yeah, he gets tossed in the water right after.
Yeah, he like kisses him and like nothing happens, and there's like this really long spell. Like, why don't you just like get up and do something, or like beat her ass, or like handcuff her or something? Why didn't you just sit there and wait for her to react?
So yeah, she tosses him in the water, and Batgirl shows up and kicks Ivy's ass, and then tosses her in her big giant flower, and you get the really terrible well, she doesn't die, but she's like getting eaten by the flowers, like as the flowers like eating her from the waist up.
Even the flower she was literally just sitting in a moment ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I can't tell the difference all of a sudden.
So, yeah. So we get a laughable introduction scene where she comes in and he's like, who are you supposed to be? She's like, Batgirl. And he's like, it's Bruce. It's me, Barbara. It's like, no shit.
No.
You don't look any different.
Well, he's clearly not the world's greatest detective in this movie, so.
Right. And this is another great pun. Let's kick some ice. As Freeze freezes Gotham, the Bat Gang get matching suits as they join Freeze. They get like they legit change suits.
Yes, they do. Like they have time to go back and change.
They get they're like Sub-Zero suits, I think.
Here's my question. I asked Angel this the whole time watching this movie. His mouth did not originally glow blue, right?
Not in the beginning. I don't remember it.
No, like, I didn't notice until the end.
Movie.
I was like, oh. I was like, that's a nice touch, but I was like, I didn't. Anyway.
Yeah, it was like halfway through they added that little thing in.
See, this was after you scared the shit out of me when you woke me up.
Yeah, I did.
He's like, wake up.
I was like, get out, the fucking movie's on. Don't fall asleep during your story.
He's like, did his mouth glow blue? And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't staring at his mouth.
Oh, Batman stops Freeze and thaws out Gotham. Woo, with some satellites. Batman saves the scientists from the falling telescope because the telescope falls and
harnesses the power of the sun.
Yep.
That's right. There you go. It's like fucking Birdman.
Yep.
Hey, man.
And I love how he rescues the scientists and drops them on this iceberg and then just leaves them there.
Like, well, how are they going to get?
Thanks, Batman! I don't know how we're going to get out of here, but cool. It's fucking cold. Oh, man. Batman tells Freeze that Ivy pulled the plug on his wife. She's not dead, though. Batman asks Freeze to help him cure Alfred, because he tells him he's got the same condition, and he gives him this little blue vial. Yeah. So here's the thing. He has this cure. Did he just create this cure? Was the whole point of this, of being at this observatory, was to create this blue vial cure?
I thought it was to turn the world into icicles.
Because if he had this cure the whole time, why wasn't he trying to heal his wife? If immediately when they put it into Alfred's IV, and immediately he's better the next day. He's fucking right as rain.
What I understand is that Alfred had stage 1, and
that's his wife
further progressed.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what he was giving her the funding, so he could, if he gave that to Batman, he would, put him in Arkham, but give him the ability to continue his research on his wife, which is all he wants anyway.
Right.
But
that makes sense. Mention when they find him or find her that he's cured part of it.
Why does he even carry it on him in a fucking battle suit? Why would he carry that on him? It just seems reckless and stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, we never said that Freeze was smart.
Well, I mean, he banana peeled himself into that bowl, or that thing of chemicals, so I don't know.
It's all dumb.
Yep.
Freeze is Ivy's new cellmate. I don't know why Freeze is allowed to have his suit when he's in Arkham, but
that's what I would like to know.
But yep. Alfred is cured. Yay! And the Bat Gang is all together. And then, of course, we get our final shot of Batman, Robin, and Batgirl running towards the screen with the bat signal behind them. And that is signaling the end of this terrible fucking movie.
We're going to need a bigger cave.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
This movie's so bad.
The song that played at the end was a song, the hell was the song called?
Probably.
The End is the Beginning is the End by the Smashing Pumpkins. It was actually
right.
won a Grammy, and
Really?
it was later used in the first trailer for the 2009 Watchmen movie, the Zack Snyder Watchmen. But it was a slower version of the song, which is fucking awesome. It's a great
Why didn't
song.
they play? They should have played Blizzard of Oz.
Well, that's not a song. That's just an album.
It's an album. I don't know. I know.
They should have played more Snow Miser.
They should have played more Snow Miser.
That's what they should have played during the credits. I would have watched the credits. That would have been the best part of the movie.
I know,
that's
right?
It. That's the fucking end of this movie, and I'm so happy it is.
Yeah, me too.
Listen, I love talking about bad movies. This one's tough. This one's tough to talk about because of how bad it is, and I don't want people to like come in, will listen to this and go, wow, they're going to be negative the whole time. This is not how every show works, but when you are talking about a movie like Batman and Robin, which is just full of just absolute trash decisions, and you can definitely tell this is something that was controlled by a studio instead of somebody who was trying to create something, of his own vision. It sucks. It sucks. And unfortunately, and I feel that's why when we get to the Dark Knight trilogy, which will start next week, you see that, Christopher Nolan, he had control of what those movies were going to be. I feel Warner Brothers was like, yeah, maybe that whole toy thing and the Batman and Robin shenanigans we went through was just not great. We probably should let the creators create what they want instead of us poking our heads into everything.
You don't say.
Yeah. So I feel bad for Schumacher. I wish we could have seen something, a little bit darker from him, because I know he's done darker films, or he did darker films in his career. And
let him do his thing.
Yeah. And he relentlessly apologized to the fans, to the Batman fans, for pretty much up until his death, apologizing for the way that this movie came out. He actually went to Warner Brothers requesting to do more Batman movies. He wanted to do another one. He wanted to do he wanted to go back to the darker side of things, but Warner Brothers was like, nah, we're going to move on. And then, of course, what was it? 8 years later, we got Batman Begins. So
gave it time, man. Gave it time.
Yeah. So this next week, we are going to be starting the Dark Knight trilogy, starting with 2005's Batman Begins. I'm very excited because this is my favorite Batman. A lot of people say Keaton. I love Christian Bale's Batman. I love Christopher Nolan's kind of gritty, based in reality type Batman stories that is like, can Batman be a real thing? Maybe not, but this is as close as we're going to get to something that could be true to reality, rather than what we got with with all of these other Batman movies. All right, I talk about it every week, but we're going to do it right now since we're here, we're at the end of this saga of Batman movies.
He's thinking the same thing I did.
We're gonna rank.
The
movies.
I just pulled it up.
All right. So we got Batman. Out of these four movies, where do you think Batman 89 goes? Number one. I agree.
You didn't get a vote.
Nah, that definitely one.
To be honest, could we just go into agreement that it's literally just Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin?
Absolutely, we can.
Okay. I agree.
Actually, I'm gonna put this in my phone because it's easier for me to edit the rankings.
My Batman Forever is just a Batman of Ben.
All right.
Symbol.
Number 2 for rankings is going to be Suits.
Ooh. Definitely not the first one.
I think the first one's iconic, but I don't think it's not as well designed.
I, to be honest, my favorite suit is probably the Val Kilmer suit, the first suit that he wears before it changes. Of course, it's still the style of the Keaton suits, but it seemed like he was able to move. It was more of the flexibility in that suit, and the fight scenes looked better. So I think the suit just overall looked better. The problem with the Keaton,
him well.
Right. The problem with like the 89 suit, which I think is a really cool suit, is just the fact it just looks so clunky. And it was the first go around with creating a suit that wasn't just a fucking onesie that that they had in the 66 series. So, you see how thick the rubber is on the mask and stuff. It just, I give them credit for doing what they did with it. I would say though Val Kilmer's suit is my favorite of the four. The first suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we come to agreement on that as the best suit of this four of these. I would say number 2 would be Batman Returns suit because it's an improvement on the 89 suit, but it's it's still very clunky.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay.
Number 3 would be Batman 89.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we all talked about earlier of how just bad the Clooney suit is.
Yes.
It's just it's just not good. All right, cool.
It's just bad.
For our next ranking, we're going to be ranking Batmans. So like, we'll rank the Batmans themselves. Number 1 for me is, of course, it has to be Keaton from 89.
Yeah.
It's definitely Keaton from 89. And to be honest, number 2 is Keaton from Returns. To be honest, it's probably just going to go down the list again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I talked about how I thought that George Clooney's Bruce was good, his Batman was not.
No.
Batman was bad.
So
seems to be a lot of descending order going on here.
Yeah. And the Batmobiles.
I didn't like Batman and Robin's Batmobile.
No, it was awful. That was awful.
It was a stupid design.
Dead last for this whole. When we talk about all the Batmobiles throughout Batman's, live action or even cartoons, it's the worst.
I'm pretty sure the Batmobile is supposed to help keep him from getting hurt.
It's like a fucking go-kart.
Literally, his head goes like a foot and a half outside the car.
What the hell is that?
Like that's not very helpful. And if you're gonna be fighting somebody,
so bad.
I mean, you just take Batman's head off.
So what do you guys think? Number 1,
I just gotta say the 89. Yeah, it's iconic. It's good. What do you think? Is it the same vehicle between 89 and Returns?
I think they tweaked some things on it, but I feel it's pretty much the same car.
I would say that the 89 edges out just a hair above.
I feel like this is just going to be
descending order again.
Descending order, yeah.
Yeah,
to be honest, the Forever car was actually pretty cool.
Oh no, I liked it.
I like that exoskeleton look with the glow, the glow. But the problem is that as we talk about Batman, is like he is the night. Like you want to like blend into the darkness.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Yeah,
yes,
he's got to blend into the darkness. And the 89 and Returns car is all black. There's no lights on it. So he's blending in. Where the Returns one is like, I got LEDs in here
everywhere.
Oh, hey, is that Batman? Just driving down. But to be honest, as much as I love these retro, these first iterations of the Batmobile, this list is going to change. I know it's going to change because we're going to get some badass, Batmobiles, more badass Batmobiles as we go along.
Yes.
No, we're not. I know we've already talked about it, and it's not going to be in the list. But you cannot top the Batman.
Well,
Batmobile.
Here's the thing. The Batman will be on HBO Max come April 19th. So I believe we're still going to be talking about Batman movies by that time. So we might get the Batman episode during this iteration. Okay. So they will be part of our rankings.
You just can't beat that Batmobile.
That car is good.
Pretty good.
Is there anything else that we can't rank Alfred because Alfred is it's the same guy every time.
Villains,
right? Holy shit. All right. I remember the list here. I'll do that after. All right. Villains. Number 1, I have to say Joker.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. I'll say number 1. I said it already, but it's Joker for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot argue with that.
But let's start from the bottom. Worst villain of these 4 films. Poison Ivy.
Probably.
Yeah, I'll give it to Poison Ivy on a very small technicality.
All right, so
just because Mr. Freeze plays the Snowmiser song.
That's not
Here's
it.
the thing. I don't even think Freeze is even the next one up. The next one up for me is Two-Face.
Yep.
Yeah. From what I've seen of Two-Face, it's just that's not it.
Wait,
good.
I talking about main villains?
Well, any villains that I don't know if I want to count Bane.
Because I'd put
Poison.
Bane next.
I say Poison Ivy / Bane because they were kind of one and the same.
Yeah, because every Poison Ivy action figure comes with a Bane. I got it.
Right. Yeah. From Two-Face, then I would probably put Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then.
Well, this is gonna be a tough one.
I would put Riddler.
Next two.
I would probably.
Yeah,
wait, do
Riddler
we put?
easy.
Do you want to put Max Shrek in there?
I don't give a fuck about him.
I mean, he's a villain, right? Do we put him with Penguin? Because I don't know.
I would put for me personally. I'd put Max. If we're gonna add him to the list, I think Max Shrek should be further down than Mr. Freeze.
Really, I actually
I like Christopher Walken a lot, but there's really, outside of just being a bad guy, there's nothing unique about him. At least Mr. Freeze is shitty ass puns.
All right.
But it's your call. I'm just
above Mr. Freeze, I would probably put Riddler because
sure.
So what we have left is Joker, Penguin, and I don't even know if I want to put Catwoman on the list. Is she a villain?
Not really.
She didn't really do.
She didn't really do anything
bad. Right. She just was there.
Going out against Shrek.
It was mostly revenge. Yeah, it was mostly revenge against Shrek.
Kill her, so I mean,
she didn't do anything.
So yeah, so your only villains you have left are Joker and Penguin, and to be honest, I think those are number 1 and 2.
I like Penguin.
I do too.
So I
like Penguin better than the Riddler. So
yeah, so
I like Penguin better than the Riddler, but I didn't care for. I actually, to be honest, I like Mr. Freeze better than I did the Riddler. But I could be vetoed apparently for because of how this works.
Okay,
but that's my opinion.
We'll go to votes here. So at number, let's see, we have 6 villains throughout these films. We excluded Max Shrek, we excluded Catwoman, and Bane is linked with Poison Ivy. So in last place is Poison Ivy and Bane. We all come to agree to that. Next up at number 5 is Two-Face.
Yes.
Okay. Number 4 is Mr. Freeze. I'm going to say yes. I think Riddler is slightly better than Freeze. What do you think, Angela? So I'll switch it if I'm outvoted.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So Freeze.
Because I'm going to disagree, but then I'm outvoted. So Freeze will be 4 because I disagree, but you guys have the majority vote. So they'll go Freeze and then Riddler.
Yeah, Riddler is at number 3. Penguin's at number 2.
Yes.
And Joker's at number 1.
Yes.
All right. So there it is. Actually, I'm gonna have to put, because some of these villains do come back in other films, so I'm gonna have to make sure I mark what movie they're from so I don't confuse myself. But I'll do that. I'll do that another time.
Just because I love Riddler's outfits.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I want every single one of them.
What else?
I want a flashing jacket.
Yeah. And I think the last thing is just rating the films, right?
Yep.
I mean,
this one's definitely last.
As what I love Joker. He's my favorite villain. I think he's the best villain of this entire series. But to be honest, I feel Returns edges 89 for me at number 1 because I love Michelle Pfeiffer, Dan DeVito, Christopher Walken. I think Keaton he's found himself more in Batman and Bruce Wayne than he did in the 89 film. I just like the whole aesthetic of Returns more than 89, even though I, of course, love the Joker more. So I think Returns is the better film. But it's all up to you guys on what you guys think.
I would probably say that as well because he feels more like he's comfortable, I guess, as being Batman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all the fighting is trash. But
yeah,
I feel like he's more comfortable in what he's doing. So I can agree.
I don't, but I don't have nostalgia for Returns. I don't at all. That was
because
it's not about nostalgia for me. I think it's just a better. I think Returns is just a better made film, in my opinion. Not by a lot. Like it's literally
not by a lot.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand because I do like those actors in it as well. But I just like the contained story of Batman and the Joker. Like there's nothing else. Like it's Batman and the Joker for the most part.
Yeah, Returns and like, it has a lot going on.
And I don't even think like even in a bad way. It's just that's just how I prefer. I think Jack Nicholson just obviously does a phenomenal job, and I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I still think the original is better in my opinion than Returns, but again, Returns feels way more Tim Burton to me, and I'm again not the biggest Tim Burton guy, so it feels more Tim Burton than 89 does.
So. But I'm a Tim.
Yeah, exactly. You guys like
Tim Burton person.
Yeah, which is fair.
Like the way I felt watching all of these again, I couldn't so much keep up. And I love Joker. Like he's one of my favorite villains. I couldn't keep up with everything that was going on in the 89 Batman because I felt like there was so much that was happening all at once. Like I couldn't keep up with, oh, this is going on, but this is also going on at the same time, like with the meeting. I'm like, I don't know where to look at this moment. Like,
yeah, oh, I get it. I get what you're saying. All right, well, I think for the rest of them, would just be so Returns, 89 Forever, and Batman and Robin. And Batman and Robin is going to be dead last this entire time.
Absolutely, it's not changing.
You just might as well put it at the bottom of all of them.
So, so I'm going to be putting a vote up tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow when you guys listen to this show, but as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to be putting a vote up the next day on whether or not we should add the Lego Batman movie and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice to our watches to add to our.
Yeah, because we've not watched Batman v Superman.
I've never seen the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel it needs to be part of it. It is Batman.
Sure.
It's Lego Batman, and then Batman v Superman. There is a lot of Batman in that movie, so I feel like it probably should be added to the. I don't know if I don't know if Justice League's going to be added. There is quite a bit of Batman in that, but this movie literally has Batman in the title. I probably should add it, but we'll put it to a vote and we'll see what people say. Yeah. So that's it. That's Batman and Robin. That's the end of the 90s Batman saga. Next week we are talking about Batman Begins, and I'm very excited about it. Also, make sure to check out our fresh cuts that we did on the Adam Project, and make sure to check out our video on Resident Evil Apocalypse. It's going to be our video debut that just released on Wednesday. And then, of course, this will be out on Friday. And then the following Monday, we're going to be doing a fresh cuts on the newest Pixar movie on Disney Plus, Turning Red. So make sure you stay tuned for that. It's going to be a good time. All right.
Should be. Yep.
Yes. Make sure to drop a like, comment on the video, and drop us a sub on the YouTube channel. Make sure to rate us on any app that you listen to us on when it comes to podcast services, iTunes, Spotify, Good Pods, all that fun stuff. Make sure if you can leave us a review, leave us a review. It's pretty cool to read people's opinions on what they liked or disliked about listening to our show. So we appreciate all the support. And that'll be it for us. Until next time, this has been episode 47 of the Dissect That Film podcast. I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela from DNA Gaming. We are Dissect That Film, and this has been the Dissect That Film podcast. We'll see you all next time.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Deuces.
Same bad channel.